The Accursed Mirror. Prologue. In the heart of an old antique shop, among dusty relics and forgotten treasures, stood a magnificent mirror. Its frame was ornately carved with twisting vines and eerie faces, and the glass itself seemed to shimmer with a life of its own. For decades, the mirror had been passed from owner to owner, leaving a trail of misfortune and madness in its wake. The shopkeeper, aware of its dark history, had placed it in a corner, hoping it would be overlooked. But fate had other plans. Chapter 1. The New Owner. Elena Rivers, a young artist with a fascination for vintage items, stumbled upon the antique shop while searching for inspiration for her next project. The mirror caught her eye immediately, its beauty captivating her. Despite the shopkeeper's warnings and hesitation, she purchased it and brought it home, believing it to be the perfect centerpiece for her studio. Chapter 2. The First Signs. Elena hung the mirror in her studio, unaware of the darkness she had invited into her life. At first, everything seemed normal, but soon she began to notice odd occurrences. Her artwork, once vibrant and full of life, started to take on a darker, more sinister tone. She found herself painting scenes of despair and horror, unable to control the images that flowed from her brush. Chapter 3. The Haunted Reflection. One evening, as Elena worked late into the night, she glanced into the mirror and saw something that chilled her to the bone. Her reflection was no longer her own. It was a twisted, malevolent version of herself, grinning wickedly. She stumbled back, but when she looked again, the reflection was normal. Convinced it was just her imagination, she tried to dismiss it. Chapter 4. Unraveling Sanity. As days turned into weeks, Elena's encounters with the mirror grew more frequent and disturbing. She saw shadowy figures moving behind her reflection and heard whispers that seemed to emanate from the glass. Her sleep was plagued by nightmares of being trapped inside the mirror, with no way to escape. Friends and family noticed her growing obsession and worrying, but Elena brushed off their concerns. Chapter 5. The Mirror's History. Desperate for answers, Elena began researching the mirror's origins. She discovered that it had once belonged to a wealthy family in the 19th century. The matriarch, Isabella Moreau, was known for her dabbling in the occult. Legend had it that she performed a ritual to imbue the mirror with protective magic, but something went horribly wrong. Instead of protection, the mirror became a conduit for dark forces, trapping the souls of those who gazed into it for too long. Chapter 6. A Desperate Plan. Elena sought out an expert in the occult, a reclusive scholar named Professor Hargrove. He confirmed her worst fears. The mirror was cursed, and its malevolent spirit was feeding off her fear and despair. He advised her to destroy it, but warned that breaking the mirror without proper preparation could release the trapped souls and their tormentors into the world. Chapter 7. The Ritual. Determined to free herself from the mirror's grasp, Elena and Professor Hargrove prepared a cleansing ritual. They gathered rare herbs, sacred symbols, and ancient incantations designed to bind and banish the mirror's dark power. The night of the ritual, Elena felt a sense of dread unlike anything she had ever experienced. As they began, the mirror seemed to come alive, its surface rippling and distorting. Chapter 8. The Battle. As Elena recited the incantation, the room filled with a chilling wind and the whispers grew louder. The twisted reflection in the mirror fought back, trying to break free. Shadowy hands reached out from the glass, clawing at Elena and Hargrove. Summoning all her strength, Elena continued the ritual, focusing on the words of power. Chapter 9. Breaking the Curse. With a final surge of energy, the mirror shattered, sending shards of glass flying across the room. The malevolent presence screamed in fury as it was banished, and the whispers fell silent. Exhausted and trembling, Elena collapsed to the floor. The curse was broken, and the souls trapped within the mirror were finally freed. Epilogue. In the aftermath, Elena's life slowly returned to normal. Her artwork regained its vibrancy, and the nightmares ceased. She vowed never to let curiosity lead her down such a dark path again. The shards of the mirror were carefully collected and buried, never to be found. The antique shop, now free of its cursed object, continued to stand, its secrets hidden among the dust and shadows. But even as Elena moved on, she couldn't shake the feeling that some part of the mirror's darkness still lingered, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to find it.